Yeah, I was waiting to ask to speak. Can I speak, Smash?
Yeah, it's all good. Go right ahead.
All right. You have to have some conversation nowadays. Now, Chief X, you still there, brother?
Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask you, have you ever seen that profile picture of mine with Amenhotep III?
I can't recall.
Now, if you don't mind, you just have a little bit of time. Okay, can you go on Google?
I'll pull it up.
Yeah, thank you, Smash. And you just need to type in Amenofis, and then you can put the three. So Amen, then no space, OPHIS, and then space, and then 3-letter I's, capital I's, but it doesn't matter if it's capital or lowercase.
Yeah, I pulled it up, but they just took me to the wiki, so I'm looking for that exact photograph that I.
Oh, my bad. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Type in Louvre first. Louvre. So Louvre space Amenofis, Amenophiis, then space, and then 3-letter I's.
All right, let me share my screen in case y'all can't see it. All right, y'all should be able to see that now.
Yeah, thank you. If you can try to blow it up a little bit. Now, Chief X, you've been saying that the ancient Egyptians are not black. This is 1300 BC, 1300 BC. So would you say that's not a black person there?
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
So I just want to know. So you have been watching my videos or no?
Not the recent ones, no.
Okay. You watched Black Egypt Debunked?
No, I haven't.
Okay, you need to subscribe, bro, and catch up.
Yeah, but I understand. But since we it's the first time we speak, and we're both on the air,
Right. I'm trying to figure out how do you know where I stand. That's what I was trying to figure out. But go ahead. What's your question?
Yeah, like that depiction here of Amenhotep III, which is Akhenaten's father, by the way, Tutankhamun's grandfather. So would you say that's not a black person there?
No, it's not.
So what would you say he's like? Would you say he's like?
I would say, like Reggie always say, they painted a lot of these people with they use red ochre, part of the earth. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's not an afro. Okay, so you're thinking that's an afro in some melanated skin. But when you look at some pictures, that the Uraeus is on the headdress.
Well, okay, we have the shape of the nose, the shape of the lips, but to me, that's the red ochre, that's used many times for dark brown, and we have other depictions where they are darker. But since you're saying he's not a black person, what would you say? Would you say he's like Asiatic, like Mediterranean? What would you say he is?
I would say he's a Mediterranean African.
Oh, Mediterranean African. Okay, yeah. So his ethnic group. Which ethnic group would you give him? Like, because Mediterranean, that's like the region. But what about the ethnic group?
Well, I haven't studied him per se and really looked into him, but I do know, if someone was to use an image of an ancient Egyptian to prove that they're black, this is the main one that they always use, right? So it's kind of a
another one though.
Huh?
There's another one of him.
Yeah, they are, but this one's the main one they use, is all I'm saying. So to me, it's kind of like cherry picking. Now, if you throw up like 10 of them and then talk to me, then we can be real.
Well, I've been going to museums for years. I've been going to many different museums in several countries, and I've been showing we have so many depictions, statues mainly, with the color, and many times they are black or dark brown, So there's way more than 10. That's for sure.
I've never seen an Egyptian depicted pitch black unless they're represented.
Mind you, he said, if you show me like 10 of them, then, whatever. And I told him I've been going to museums all these years. And now he's saying, I've never seen pitch black. So we went from this, and this is not labeled as black. Then, okay, pitch black. You see, there's a slight nuance. There's a little shift there. But for the record, in that video where that's entitled, where the ancient Egyptians Caucasians, Chief-X and I can discuss it, I showed depictions directly from the tombs, and people are free to count. I'm pretty confident that we have more than 10 just on that video alone. So it doesn't need to look at all the videos that I've published, that I've uploaded over the years in several different museums in many different countries. You can just look at that video, but he's under no obligation whatsoever. Like I said, when I heard him say certain things about Kemet, I made the live stream. I tried to contact him on Facebook and other stuff. Now he never replied, and he doesn't have to, but just for the record. But this time here, if he wants the conversation, we can have it. If he doesn't want the conversation, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, if you say pitch black, then I can understand. But pitch black, basically that's like jet black. Very, very black or very, very dark skin. But we have definitely plenty of the pieces where there are
let's say this then.
Dark skin or dark brown.
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Sometimes they depict the Egyptian and men be dark skinned and the women be white looking.
Well, this is a convention.
I'm asking you a question. I'm leading up to something. Work with me.
Okay, that question is red ochre for the males and yellow ochre for the females, indeed.
And so sometimes they're white or pale yellow, correct? Correct? He froze up. He got
yellow. Yeah. I have seen white ones in the late period. You're right, but yellow typically.
I agree.
Okay, so I'm going to move forward until I came back because I lost connection. Some people might not believe it and think that the question was inconvenient, and I just bounced and I'm going to pretend it's a connection, but you don't have to believe me. I'm just saying, for the record, I lost the connection at that point, and then I was trying to get back. So I'm going to move forward to the time when I got the connection. That stuff in between right now that I'm going to skip now, I haven't even heard it yet. So I'm going to listen to it later on to see if some slick stuff was said by the butler. But let me just where I came back. I'm moving forward a little bit. Oh, there it is. So I came back here. I'm putting to the part where I'm talking again. Okay.
To depict his actual real life skin color.
By the way, brothers, I'm sorry, but earlier I was in an area where there was no network. Can you hear me, brothers?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yeah, you got the floor.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Just want to say, let's sign that up. Call two guys, the B word, and those guys went on this platform 2 days later, so they don't have to worry about what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna remain consistent. I'm not flip-flopping. But I just wanted to say one thing, because earlier people addressed the upcoming debate between Jabari and Garfield. If that happens, and in my opinion, he doesn't have any information, and he's looking for people to help him with talking points, because when he wasn't signing this platform, he spent like maybe half an hour or more dealing with what John Henry Clark said.
Who? You said Garfield don't have permission, or Jabari?
I think he barely has anything, and he needs all the help.
No, I'm asking who, Garfield or Jabari?
Garfield. Maybe I made a mistake.
Okay.
I feel like Garfield barely has anything, because he spent like half an hour dealing with.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this.
Yeah, but if I can just finish, brother.
Okay.
About John Henry Clark talking about whether it was the Jesus was historical or not. Even if John Henry Clark said the moon was blue, the debate is not about what did John Henry Clark say, because people like to throw some people that are considered one's teacher, and they want to tie him to his statements. But go ahead, Chief X. And I couldn't hear your question earlier, but go ahead, Chief X.
This is what I was going to say. Now, I'm not a hater, Jonathan. I give people props where props is due, right? And of all the people in the so-called conscious community, Garfield knows that Bible better than anybody I know in the community. So I wouldn't say he doesn't have anything. I would say Garfield is deep on that Bible. I even give Garfield credit of damn near being an expert in regards to Christianity in the Bible. Now,
don't push it, brother.
Now, no, serious. Garfield is deep with that Christianity in the Bible. Here's the thing, though. He just doesn't make good arguments to defeat Jabari. That's all. So Jabari is just going to win because he makes a better argument. He'll remain more calm. And it's just so much, in my opinion, that he can correlate to make the people in the audience listening believe that he made his point. It's so easy to me to correlate ancient Egyptian ideologies with Christianity. Although Garfield is correct, he just doesn't have it in him to the skill and the tactics to beat Jabari. That's what I feel, Jonathan Owen.
Chief X, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. Chief X, I don't know if maybe you'll be available, but if you want, I can compile those museum artifacts where we see the ancient Egyptians with dark skin, dark brown skin, and then we can go over it and have a dialogue over it if you want to. For example,
I agree with that. This is why you need to watch my videos. I just did a video 2 days ago regarding the cultural continuity of ancient Egyptians with the modern Egyptians. They are dark. I've never had an argument about skin color. That's never my argument, because we vary in skin color. Like Sarah Sutton Seti is light-skinned. There's Cambodians, Vietnamese, Filipinos darker than Sarah Sutton Seti. But that doesn't mean Cambodians are black, because they're darker than Sarah Sutton Seti. So you have a Sarah Sutton Seti, or you have Idris Elba, 2 varying degrees of darknesses and skin colors. So I don't talk about skin color. That's not my thing. My thing is more so genetics, about genetics population.
Oh, I get it. Well, in this case,
because there's plenty of ancient Egyptians who are very melanated, even darker than me.
Okay, well, then I understand your stance, and I don't think we'll ever come to an agreement, because if you dissociate the skin and the phenotype, the shape of the nose and the shape of the lips, then obviously I can see.
Phenotypes are different. Phenotype is a different subject. I'm just talking about skin color. You agree with me? I made the great example. Is Sarah Sutton Seti very much more light-skinned than Idris Elba?
Oh, I cannot deny that. It's true.
Okay, so what I'm saying is ancient Egyptians vary in skin color from dark to light-skinned, just like blacks vary in skin color from dark to light-skinned. When I was in the Philippines, the Filipinos differed in skin color from light-skinned Filipinos to dark-skinned Filipinos. Most races who have some melanin vary in richness and darkness of skin colors, including the ancient Egyptians in all of North America.
Yeah, but the thing is that we do have their phenotype on some paintings and some statues as well, you see? And maybe you have not seen those artifacts. We can clearly see the shape of their nose, the shape of their
lips. So do you feel the Olmecs were black people too?
Oh, I'm not convinced about that, because there might be I don't want to say Polynesian type, but the people that we will see in Hawaii, the Maori type of people. Because if we look, for example, at the movie with The Rock, actually Idris Elba is in the movie, if I'm not mistaken, with The Rock and Jason Statham. We see The Rock with his family members. So if you look at their female and even their males, they will have thicker lips than the average person. So the Olmec head, it kind of look like, we could label it, a black/African type of phenotype, but it might be this population that we find in Hawaii and other islands,
No. See, if you followed my YouTube, you would know the answer to these things, right? I really go in deep. I really suggest you should subscribe to my YouTube and hit all.
Yeah, but I think it'll be good for us to have a discussion.
Do you hear what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
I think you really should subscribe to my YouTube, because you probably don't know a lot of my stances. Like, I made a video talking about the Olmecs and different statues, right? Mm-hmm. And I showed all kind of ancient Egyptians, not ancient Egyptians, I'm sorry. I showed all kind of modern Egyptians and modern Native Americans, all in the Amazon jungle in Brazil, with broad noses and flat noses, just like mine. You see my nose? There's many modern Egyptians with noses like mine. So I made it. I told people that if you make a stone carving of any human being with a flat nose, automatically Black Americans are going to think they're African, or most people are going to think they're like Black Africans. But you can't tell with a stone carving just because of a flat nose. And I posted pictures of ancient Egyptians and Native Americans next to flat noses statues, and you can't tell. So if it's a carving in stone, which doesn't depict skin color, you can't tell by phenotype and make those kind of claims as if that's just what it is. So the closest thing we can do is, in the court system, whether the defense team or the prosecution team are arguing back and forth, who cares what they're talking about? When that DNA evidence come in court, both of them need to sit down. They'll say releasing DNA evidence proves he didn't do it, releasing. So the prosecutor's argument, the defense team argument goes out the window because DNA is king. So when you study the DNA of North Africa, you lose.
Yeah, and you're making some interesting points. However, once again, we do have statues where we can see their phenotype, and we do have paintings as well. But when it comes to the DNA, I don't think anybody will be able to come to an agreement, because every other month there's some DNA reports that people put up, and some will say those guys were Asiatics, and others will say they're Sub-Saharan Africans.
There are no reports claiming that ancient Egyptians or North Africans are Sub-Saharan Africans.
I beg to differ, because you were on Brother Nedeneb's channel, and in the chat you made a statement, and he put your statement on the screen, and he pulled up a DNA report that says that those the inhabitants of Egypt, their DNA.
What happened was, I'm gonna tell you what Nedeneb did. Nedeneb lied, and you fell for it and believed him, and he claimed that ancient Egyptians have 85-90% Sub-Saharan African DNA. Jonathan, no, that's false. I mean, you can't just let people say anything just because you want to believe that angle. You have to challenge everything, and you did no challenge of that. He made up those stats. What he was talking about was haplogroups 100,000 years from ago, which connects all humans, not just Black and white folks. That's what he was doing. He played a trick on you.
But it's easy to say that when he's not there.
I said that when he was there. He played a trick on you. Trust me, bro. There are no ancient Egyptians. What he showed was what he wrote down, and he put his writing up there, and you believe his writing. There's no genetic reports claiming any North Africans have 90% Sub-Saharan African DNA. Not zero.
Chief X, there's a very important nuance there. If you're saying North Africans, that's not the same as those people from Kemet, and I'm pretty confident that they've taken some mummies. Sheikh Anta Diop, he asked for samples of royal mummies, and for the most part they wouldn't give it to him. But if I'm not mistaken, afterwards some people asked and took some samples from some royal mummies.
Sheikh Anta Diop didn't take no samples.
No, I'm saying he asked, but they wouldn't give it to him for the most part. But if I'm not mistaken,
there's no need, because they weren't doing DNA back then. The genome was just mapped in the 70s. What Sheikh Diop was doing was talking about a melanin test, which is
you're correct. He wanted to determine the level of melanin. You see, so
so that's erroneous, though.
Well, you can say that, but he was a physicist, So I think
this is what I'm saying. You know it's erroneous. I just gave you the example. If I did a melanin, listen, let me just make this one example. If I did a melanin test on Native Americans, it's going to show that they have a deeper, more melanin than Sarah Seti, who is literally an African.
Not necessarily.
So what I'm saying is, during a melanin test doesn't prove genetics. It just proves that people have are melanated. That's it.
No, not necessarily, because even albinos have melanin.
Yeah, everybody got melanin.
Yeah, everybody got melanin.
Birds, cats, dogs, everybody.
So I'm sure many people will put up different DNA reports. I personally don't deal with DNA because I have the visual evidence which is sufficient.
No, because the DNA goes against what you think. That's why you don't deal with it.
That's your stance. That's your stance. But
you're anti-science, is what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not. No, you know what I'm saying? I'm not anti-science because many people have taken DNA tests, and some of them, it's like they said, they're like 40% Scottish and stuff like that. So I have my reserves, you know, because there's a lot of business going on, just like paternity tests, you know.
Let me say this then. I took a DNA test of 23andMe. My nephew took one, right? It totally matches us up. He had no clue. It shows him as my first cousin. Them DNA tests is real. It shows on 23andMe. I have a second cousin who contacted me, and come to find out, she was at my grandmother's funeral because my grandmother and her grandmother are cousins. All that stuff connected our family on 23andMe. It's real.
I agree. Okay. Let me interject real quick, Shaka.
Go ahead, brother.
I agree about the realness of DNA, and we all the evidence put forth about how it's used in the court, it makes valid points about identifying individuals. The problem we have when using DNA, we're trying to say who was an Egyptian, can be illustrated in an ancient Egyptian story, the story of Sinuhe, who was born genetically an Egyptian and went into the retinue areas or the areas of the Levant and became a king. He lived his entire life as a Canaanite king. But when he wanted to go back to Kemet to be buried, he had to go be re-Egyptianized and go back and get back into the Egyptian culture. So if we would apply DNA to a survey of a person like that, let's say he was found when he was Egyptian king and he died when he was a Canaanite king and we died and we did an Egyptian survey, we would say, oh, this was a Egyptian guy who was a Canaanite, which would eventually be correct, but we would be off because culturally at that point when he died, he was a Canaanite. You see what I mean? He would have been a Canaanite, but he did not die as a Canaanite. He re-entered into Egypt and then became re-Egyptianized. And so I'm saying DNA wouldn't reveal all of that to us. It would just tell us genetically which families he was tied to individually, but culturally, we wouldn't know if he was accepted as an Egyptian or not using DNA.
I agree with the cultural thing.
And you know, so in summary, Chief X, you're maintaining that when we talk about ancient Egypt, between the first dynasty, circa 3000 BC, until let's say
what dynasty?
Well, the first dynasty, 3000 BC, you know, all the way until the Assyrians took over 600 BC. Do you maintain that there was no Black African ancient Egyptians?
The ancient Egyptians are Caucasians. That's my stance.
Okay, so from 2000 BC until today, right?
Pre-dynastic times up until now.
I get it.
My stance is the modern day Egyptian is the ancient Egyptian.
Okay, thanks a lot for your answer. Hey, brothers, I'm gonna leave y'all. Thank you for having me. I'm heading to work now. Good build, you know. Take care, brothers.
All right, go subscribe. Go subscribe, bro. Catch up.
We need to talk, T-Pex. We should talk.
Go subscribe, bro. You're not saying I'm gonna go subscribe. Are you gonna subscribe right now?
You subscribe to my channel.
I'm asking you, are you gonna subscribe to my channel?
Y'all subscribe to each other's channel. How about that?
I'll subscribe to this channel. There's no problem. Now watch this. See how easy to answer that? Doctor, are you gonna subscribe to my channel?
Yeah, I will subscribe to you as put an end to this as I hit the quit button. I will subscribe to your channel.
Okay, so I'll need you to make a comment on my last video. You don't have to watch it. I just want to know you subscribe. Okay, and the way I know you subscribe is if you make a comment.
Well, you know, people didn't know that, but the account that I use to subscribe on people's channel is not my main account.
I know. Why are you hiding?
No, it's not hiding. I've been ever since 2004. I've never been hiding. People know who I am.
What's wrong with this account right here, the one you're on right here?
Because there's many reasons why it's been like that for years, you know.
Okay, so you can't comment on this YouTube account you're on now that says Shaka. You can't comment?
Oh, I can comment with my main account, you know, but I will subscribe to your account.
The way I know you subscribe, listen, the way I know you subscribe is to see a comment from you. I'll be
No,
waiting.
I can't leave a comment. It won't say that I'm a subscriber.
Oh my God. You're
well, okay, we never get around this, but I'm saying, you can take my word of not for it. I will subscribe to your channel.
Okay, now comment so I know you subscribe. That's all
okay,
I'm
all right, peace, brothers. Peace, brothers.
Christ.
All right, peace.
Hey, good job, Chief X.
Hey, Righteous said something in the comment. He said Chief X has also videos. I don't know if he's trying to tell them to people. Chief X also has videos disrespecting our elders that put 50 plus years into this arena. But Chief X has all the answers in one of his videos.
Hey, Chief X, can you hear me?
Yeah, let me let her know that I may have been disrespectful to an elder or two, okay? But sometimes I feel if they're disrespectful, I can be disrespectful back. But then again, nobody says nothing when people are disrespectful to me, all in the comments and chat. Righteous, like you've been so disrespectful to me. A lot of people insult me and disrespectful to me, but you won't say a word, right?
No,
so when people, let me say this one last sentence. I was talking to Righteous, but let me say this one last sentence. So people say things like, we are our ancestors. But then right after they say that, they'll cuss me out. So you didn't cuss out your living ancestor. You was disrespectful. Okay, so who is it okay to cuss and disrespect some people, but some people you can't? I mean, I don't get the double standard here. But go ahead.
Hey, Chief X. So, it's up to that generation to not talk about their elders, but to defend their elders. Don't talk about it. Be like Smash Rockwell. Be about it, right? Step up to the plate. And what you did is, I'm not a Captain Save-A-Ho. So even though I have great love for Kemet, right? I watched you flat tire him, right? He was all the way wrong. He was arguing the color of the skin, then he lied and said that Diab wanted a melanin sample before the human genome was decoded, right?
Right.
He was all the way wrong, right?
Right.
But I'm not gonna say, because what I've been doing for the years, I've been putting the information out. I've been stepping up front, right? I've been taking a lot of blows, and then I see these people, they want to build themselves up. They really don't want to do the work, right?
Right.
They don't really want to do the work. And so I tell everybody again, when I need to step on the plate on Kemet on Trial, I had to go and get the best that I could find, right? And luckily he joined. That's the Magi, right? But when you was talking to him, it was all flat tires. You killed him with the skin color. He didn't know how to defend it.
I put him in the dirt.
He didn't know how to defend it, but he gets galloping, right? He skipped the Lewin, right? All of his arguments are wrong because he doesn't have the skill set or the text. So Smash came in and tried to help him out a little bit because, Smash loved Kemet, right? But he didn't bang on you. Smash didn't bang on you. He just said, look at the Sinuhe story. And I said, well, you can go to the Tumahoy if you want to play the skin color game and see how they represent each other. But I was waiting for him to pull up something or say something, and I'm not Captain Save-A-Ho. Sorry, Smash.
No, don't be sorry, but Shaka, how he gonna come back. He gonna take this video, everything you said, especially the part about the Caucasians. So
Microphone check 1 2. Let's see like that. Microphone check 1 2. How is it now? Is it loud or is it okay? Sounds a bit better. Okay. Hotep Senu Hena Senut ET RNI Shakandugu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. The title of this live stream is Clown Reggie shares a petition to strip Dr. Zahi Hawass of his doctorate. That is his doctorate degree, his PhD, basically. Now, what you've heard is an excerpt from the video entitled Reggie is not a Captain Save a Ho, he's an idiot. And in parentheses, Diop melanin dosage test. In that video, I actually read Diop himself saying that he begged the Egyptians for some sample from royal mummies so that he could do the melanin dosage test. And you will hear that he actually has done some melanin dosage test, you know, in the past. So Reggie was just a butler. You could hear Reggie say that he was waiting for me to show something, or like you didn't see the artifact on the screen. And by the way, I was driving. And that punk monkey butler, clown Reggie, even once said, probably on that video, "Don't touch the T-face while you're driving." So that title was nice. Reggie is not a Captain Save a Ho, he's an idiot. But I would just go further than that, and say, as a matter of fact, Sugar Hayes wrote, Reggie doesn't have the money to be Captain Save a Ho. I would say that Reggie, Butler Reggie, is not the Captain Save a Ho. He is the Ho. Reggie is not the Captain Save a Ho. He is the Ho. He is the one that needs to be saved from being pseudo. We've all heard, and I've played many times, Reggie saying that Heru is Greek, which makes him pseudo by default. We also heard him saying that, sorry, Horus is not the son of Osar. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, Ma'at is a bird. Reggie said Ma'at is a bird. Now, did I share that video? Yeah, I shared that one. Now also, that punk butler Reggie claims he has love for Kemet. In that video right there, for those who are interested, you will hear Reggie trying to cap like a biatch for the Hebrew Israelite and trying to argue for chattel slavery. Hebrew Israelites were talking about chattel slavery, which is a narrative based from the biblical myth of the Exodus story. And that punk butler biatch Reggie was trying to show that. You understand? Even pseudo Smash Rockwell smashed Reggie on that. Now, we do have a new member, the guy that shot Ricky. That's the movie Boys in the Hood, for those who have seen it. Welcome. Thank you for being a supporter. Oh, I think I know who it is. It must be a real brother, because that's his vernacular. I'm going to crack some heads now. Is this you too, real? Now let's see who's in the place to be. Donnie Williams is in the place to be. Sugar Hayes is in the place to be. Bennett is in the place to be. David is in the place to be. Andrew Brunet is in the place to be. Young Heru is in the place to be. And I think Texas Bama is in the place to be. In the building. You know, when your ex played, the Desperate Baby Mamas, I heard you, Texas Bama. You ain't taking no foolishness. No. I think that's about everybody. Okay. So there's a few comments that I will not put on the screen. Now, yes, sir. So this is too real. Okay, appreciate that, brother. So, yes, like the title says, here is the petition. I saw Butler Reggie share that link. Now let's have a look. As you see, it's from change.org. You know, hey man, most of the time petitions, won't change a thing. People should just go at the lawmakers, But I'm not going to say it's useless, but Now what's strange is that it says here, now it's French, but 88 people have signed. Next objective or next goal 100. Okay, that's okay. Okay, so apparently they're just hyping people. So okay, let's reach 100, and then because I don't think they will put that for GoFundMe type of stuff fundraising. Yeah, they will say this is how much we want. But for signatures, I thought, man, why would they want only 100 people? But that's obviously change.org was just hyping people up. So it does say indeed, petition to have the University of Pennsylvania recall Dr. Zahi Hawass' doctorate. Now, I didn't read the whole thing. The petition was made by someone called Dr. Daniel LaRoche, MD. MD stands for medical doctor. I know one who's on that panel order. I spoke to him once. As a matter of fact, the link that I've shared in the chat, you will hear me having a conversation with him. And I heard some people say that he was related to the butler, but I don't know, man. People say so many stuff. Now, it says Dr. Zahi Hawass was awarded a doctorate degree from the University of Pennsylvania School Graduate Program in Art and Archaeology of the Mediterranean World, AAMW, in 1987. Notice that it was not a doctorate degree in Egyptology, but he's an Egyptologist, he's considered so. After living as the head of antiquities of Egypt, Dr. Hawass has the science. Now, for those who don't know, a lot of people, become Egyptologists by studying archaeology, and then they specialize, with the history of Egypt. But now there's a few universities who have a curriculum solely about Egyptology. After living as the head of antiquities of Egypt, Dr. Hawass has the science. Okay, let's move. So here. Okay, it's okay. I'm going to read that paragraph. After living as the head of antiquities of Egypt, Dr. Hawass heads the science committee overseeing the Scan Pyramids project and is independently a press spokesman. In this capacity, he has made several false, unscientific claims and racist claims attempting to rewrite history without disclaimer. More specifically, he has made many unscientific claims denying the African origin of civilization in the Nile Valley. More specifically, now this is the same Butler who's sharing this. I'm not saying he made or wrote that text, but he's sharing it. I almost put pushing a petition, but I decided to put shares a petition in the title. The same Butler who congratulated Chief X right after Chief X said that the ancient Egyptians were Caucasian from pre-dynastic time, that same Butler punk clown Reggie, who's known for being a slake and a cutthroat, going against his own teacher, Dr. Ben. Now he's talking about, what's the denying African civilization in the Nile Valley? I mean, if this dude is not mentally disturbed, then I don't know what it is. More specifically, in an interview with Al-Masri Al-Yum newspaper, well, basically this is Egypt today. Masri, that would be Egypt, and Yom, that's the day. You have a similar term in Hebrew, because Hebrew and Arabic are quote unquote sister languages. I like to use that term, but I don't claim to be a linguist. Some people may prefer cousin languages, but there are so many words in Hebrew that are the same in Arabic, or just slightly different, So you heard Yom Kippur, you see? So Yom, Yum. All right. But anyway, Hawass stated that Cleopatra was Greek, mentioning that she was light-skinned, not black. Now, I agree that Cleopatra was Greek, and it is my opinion that she was white or white-skinned, not just light-skinned, but white-skinned. And it is my opinion that she was not black. You see? And today we have some people, and everybody have the right to their opinion, who claim that Cleopatra was black under the premise that one of her parents, most likely her mother, was black. I don't know where they get that from. Now, I'm going to say it simply. Why not make the same claim about any person in history for whom we know the paternity but not the maternity? Will some people argue that Alexander the Great was biracial, that he was mixed race? Will somebody argue that Julius Caesar was biracial or mixed race? Why that focus on Cleopatra? She was of the Greek dynasty of the Ptolemies, so whoever argues that she was black, can they just show us what makes them say so? On what evidence they are basing their hypothesis? I mean, that's not helping us. And you see, Jada Pinkett Smith, despite the drama got in her relationship, they went and talked about it publicly, about the entanglement and all. She is in a position to make a documentary and show the artifacts in museums around the world. The visual evidence speaks for itself. Why people want to cling on Cleopatra? It reminds me of the Hebrew Israelites and some black Christians who say Jesus was black. Based on what? The population of that area during that time period were made of white-skinned people. And white doesn't mean necessarily like people from Sweden and Denmark, you know? You may argue they had a tan and they love to throw the word brown, you know? But anyway. So, comment, Dr. Hawass completely ignores the African pharaoh and African wisdom literature of the Old Kingdom, the African artifacts of King Joseph, King Amenhotep III. You know who Amenhotep III is? It's him. That's from the Louvre Museum. You know, it's been my profile picture for a while. And this is what I've shown to Chief X. I mean, the other dude shared it, but I mentioned it. You understand what I'm saying? But you remember that punk butler Reggie congratulated Chief X after Chief X said that the ancient Egyptians were Caucasian. Butler Reggie is such a hoe that he would agree with any person that disagrees with his opponent, just on principle of being a hoe. And he's been doing that for years. Now, okay, I really wanted to show that. I wanted this to be on the record, you know. So when you have somebody like Reggie who's on a panel that invites convicted rapists, convicted child molesters, with Sanetta who's on tape defending the convicted serial rapist and child molester Malachi York, Reggie is not in a position to push anything. If people want to take seriously, they should tell some people, look, man, you have too much dirt on your side. Shut the F up and let us do our thing. And I will recommend people, if they want to be taken seriously, to not push that narrative or argument or hypothesis of a biracial or mixed race Cleopatra. Now, I hope that's what they are arguing for, as much as I disagree with that hypothesis, because if we have some people who are going to argue that both parents of Cleopatra were black, and I'm like, hey, good luck to you. You know? Now, one of the authors mentioned in that petition is one of the three authors of the book, The Origin of the Word Amen, which has been deconstructed in the criticism of a PhD in linguistics. But hey, we live and we learn. So we're just going to be a few minutes late for the scheduled live stream about the inappropriate, what's the name? Nani. Let me share the link. Inappropriate Nani. So I expect all of you to join us. Sister Andrea Brunet already left a comment. Here it is. Free to join us there. I'll catch you in a few seconds. Well, let's say a couple of minutes. Stay safe, stay healthy. If I'm allowed to by the nature, I will definitely holler back at you. I don't argue, I state facts. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. If you do not think right, you will not act right. If you know better, you will do better. Do I to do a nature hotel.